Hello, and welcome to Marvel Vision, a Marvel Studios TV show podcast brought to you by Cinema Sangha. My name is Devin Faraci. I am one of the hosts of the program. Joining me, as he traditionally does.
My name is Derek Faraci, and it's better for me to stay home. Some might think it means I hate people, but that's not quite right. How are you, Devin?
Is that from your autobiography?
That is from an Eel song, so kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. How you doing?
I'm good.
You're knocking back your drinks like so early in this show every week. You're just like knocking it back first thing. You're the thirstiest man I know.
I gotta charge up.
Nothing interesting happening over at your end of the planet?
There is actually something interesting. I didn't bring this up on the latest Bad Batch because I wanted to save it for here.
Yeah.
Since part one of the story was told last week. You might remember that I ordered some stuff from Sam's Club and it got stolen or delivered to the wrong people.
Yes.
Last Thursday night, around 6 o'clock, I would say. I think it was Thursday. My intercom buzzed. And I was like, I'm not expecting anyone. I didn't order anything. What's going on? So I go and I open up the door and I look down the stairs. And there's my 2 cases of Diet Coke. So they kept the oatmeal, they kept the fudge pops, but they gave me back the Diet Coke.
That's so fucking funny. They didn't want your Diet Coke.
Did not want the Diet Coke.
Get this aspartame out of my goddamn house.
Yes.
We might be thieves, but we're not. But we're not just going to take anything.
Yes.
We have taste. We have standards.
Yes.
Wow! Congrats on getting your Diet Coke back. Does that mean that you now have 4 cases of Diet Coke?
I do.
Wow! You got so much Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Incredible. Congrats, buddy.
Cans.
Wow, that's a lot of Diet Coke.
Yeah.
That's going to keep you in Diet Coke for how long? 2 weeks?
About 2 months.
Yeah, let's see what happens. I watch you fucking knock back a can of Diet Coke on this show in about 4 minutes in the opening, just slamming it back. Every time I'm talking, you mute your mic and slam back a Diet Coke.
I have 2 Diet Cokes a day, and then when we do this podcast, I have a third because we record it's late at my time, and I'm sleepy, so I have to get energy up.
Oh, that's definitely something to do. I saw Weapons last night.
How is it?
Great.
Yeah.
I am not going to say anything about it because I think it's definitely, there he goes, Diet Coke. It definitely is a movie that I think you need to come in as open and blank as possible. It's not like it's not like a puzzle movie, but I think there's like a lot of the way that the movie's constructed creates a real mysterious tension for a very long time. That is really good. I mean, I got to tell you, Zach Cregger, man, he did Barbarian. This is not Barbarian-like, but it has the same quality of being scary and funny.
Okay.
He's really good at like knowing how to make a scene funny and then just turn it right into scary. And it's actually pretty. There were people screaming at my screening last night. Yeah.
Wow.
Also, it was one of these press screenings where they bring in civilians to fill the house when all the press and everything like that. And there was a lady there with an infant in a baby carriage at the R-rated Weapons.
That seems off.
Well, it gets better. She had headphones playing a podcast next to the baby's head. So for the first half of the movie, there was just the constant background of some guy's voice going.
Just Griffin and David from Blank Check.
The thing was, I'm pretty sure that it was this lady, but I couldn't narrow it down enough. You know what I mean? To like get up and like go talk to somebody, like go say, hey, turn that fucking thing off. So I just kind of had to let it go. The second half of the movie that finally turned off, it was really unreal though. Like how long there was just some fucking voice going.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then the baby did like a lot of noises in the second half, but whatever. I mean, like you shouldn't have had the fucking baby there in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. It's weird having a baby there.
Yeah, I don't like when they have these screenings where they have seat fillers that come in, that people line up outside. Like, I don't love that. That's not necessarily... All apologies to the folks listening or watching this who do go and wait in those lines. It's not the best humanity has to offer traditionally. So it is, these are not people we're sending to meet the aliens. It is people who talk through movies, take pictures of the screen, people who take a whole seat for their pizza and won't let anybody sit in their pizza seat.
All right.
So
They're bringing
it's
like a full pie in?
you can get a pizza at AMC.
But it's like the flatbread. It's not very big. It's like...
They came in a pizza box, man. It was like actually a reasonably sized pizza box.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if they have a different one at this AMC. It was the AMC at the Grove. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they definitely had a reasonably sized pizza box. I mean, somebody was in there with food from a fast food joint, so they definitely were. That's the other thing. Like they'll bring in like fast food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not my favorite crowd.
Well,
But yeah. So that's. But Weapons is excellent. I can't recommend it enough.
I'm thinking about seeing it tomorrow night, breaking my no going out on work nights rule, because I want to see it before it gets spoiled.
It's going to get spoiled real fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. And so I was like, I should go see it tomorrow night. But I got to see. I got to see how I feel.
Because there's elements that people are not going to be able to resist talking about. And so, like, it's going to get spoiled so fucking fast. I got to say something, though. And I know this is a problematic thing I'm going to say. You're not supposed to talk like this anymore. You're not
Just
supposed
don't
to...
like the Dutch.
I can't stand these fuckers. Just take these tulips and shove them up your ass. I know you're not supposed to talk about women's appearances this way, but I do not understand why Julia Garner has that haircut. And she's had it for a couple of movies now. And I just think it's a bad haircut. It's like a real weird 80s office lady haircut. And I just don't love it, and she keeps having it. And I guess the youth like it. God bless, but I'm baffled. I'm baffled by her hairdo.
Maybe it's like a genie monkey paw thing where she like made a wish to be famous. But they were like, you will be famous, but your hair will be bad.
It's just so... I mean, she has to keep cutting it like that because it's short. Like, it's not just like,
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't grow.
Yeah,
It's
no, you're right.
it.
You're right.
Stuck
Yeah,
like that for all
you're
time.
right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I'm not supposed to talk about women's appearances that way, but I just do not like that haircut at all. However, she is excellent in this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see her in The Wolfman because I refused to see The Wolfman.
I still have not seen The Wolfman.
Yeah, I just can't imagine making myself watch it. Like, I just feel like that's an act of self-harm, it feels like.
Which bums me out because I really liked Invisible Man. So I was hopeful for Wolfman, but the trailers and the talk about it turned me off.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is it was received poisonously. And the trailers look like shit. And, so. Anyway, anything else happening out there in the great state of Michigan?
You know what? This weekend I watched Nobody for the first time with
I haven't seen it yet. Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk. People really like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why.
I mean, people seem to like the whole guy you wouldn't expect to be an ass kicker is an ass kicker thing.
No, yeah, I get that, but like, I mean, this movie it's writing on people love Bob Odenkirk. That is what that's the thing that makes this movie watchable.
Right.
Is like, well, Bob Odenkirk, he's great. We all love him. But it is essentially the same story as John Wick.
Right.
Except in John Wick, they they kill his dog, and he's like, I gotta go get revenge for my dead dog. In this, these people break into his house, and they take some money and like his daughter's bracelet, and he goes and he finds the people that took the bracelet and beats them up, and then leaves, and they don't have the bracelet, like, we don't have it, and he leaves, and then he gets on a bus, and there's a couple of guys on the bus. He's like, I'm just gonna beat up these guys now because I'm so angry. And he beats the crap out of these other guys who are jerks. Don't get me wrong. But he beats them up, and then one of them happens to be like the son of the Russian mafia boss. And now the Russian mafia is after him. And like, it's just not a very interesting movie. And it's just like, well, like, I don't get it. I don't get people like, oh, it's so different and fun. It's like, no, it's just a John Wick copy. That's all it is.
I mean, it seemed obvious to me that it was a John Wick riff.
Yeah. But it's Bob Odenkirk, so I was like, all right, he's always fun, and there's a new one coming out. I was like, well, people liked it. I'll watch it and see if I want to go see the next one. I don't think so.
The next one looks a little more unique
Yes, it does.
because he's on vacation with his family and they all get involved in the John Wicking.
Yeah.
So that's more unique, I think.
Yeah.
And that they might actually have like taken the time to make something different this time.
Hopefully.
Potentially, I don't know.
Hopefully.
Well, sorry
Although
about.
even in the trailer, they're like, the place you're vacationing, everyone there is in the mafia or is an assassin, and it's like,
Yeah.
really? Like, come on. And that's the same as like the John Wick things, where it's like, turns out everyone in the world is an assassin, and that's the entire economy of the universe.
You know what's funny is that I went to go see Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair last week, and that was a thought that I had was that, oh, this is John Wick. Like, this is because in Kill Bill, the world is mostly like assassins, cowboys, kung fu masters. Like, it's just, the whole world's full of that. The bride flies on an airline and they have fucking samurai sword holders in the seats.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's what John Wick just took this concept, but it's. I mean, I'm not anti John Wick, although I have not seen the last John Wick because I was just so burnt out on the third one. I thought it was really bad. But they took that concept where everybody in this world is these things, but I think it works so much better in Kill Bill because the world is so cinematic. It's like you're traveling into different movies.
Yeah.
John Wick is just like you're just in John Wick, and everybody's a hitman.
And John Wick, they keep playing as like, this is a secret organization, a secret society, but everyone's part of it. And it's like, well, and also John Wick drives me crazy because there are so many people who hate superhero movies but love John Wick. John Wick's a superhero movie. Mm-hmm. He's wearing a regular suit that's bulletproof. It's like, yeah, he's just a superhero at that point. Like, there's not much different.
I'd agree. All right, we got any news this week?
We do. Sony is working on a Spider-Punk animated movie, and who knows? Maybe it'll come out before the next Spider-Verse movie.
Rumor is they're working on also Spider-Gwen, and I forget which other one they're working on. So they're looking to spin off because they have canceled all of their Spider-Man spin-off movies.
Yeah.
Or so they're I think going to go heavy on this shit.
Sure, these people like this stuff, so
people actually pay money for this. But the thing is, they're probably going to run it into the ground. Daniel Kaluuya is co-writing this. He plays Spider-Punk, so that's hopeful.
Yeah.
We will see. I mean, I like Spider-Punk a lot. I'm kind of curious what kind of story he can carry. I'm kind of intrigued. So.
Yeah, we'll find out. And he's writing it with Ajan Singh, who I do not know. I don't know what else he's done. He's got, if I'm looking at the right person on IMDb, he's got no credits.
Well, there you go.
Here's a different guy with the same name.
Oh, another guy.
Oh, no, this is AJ Singh, so this is a different guy.
No, okay.
He's got no credits. I don't know.
No
or maybe
credits.
he does, and they're just not on IMDb. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've also gotten our first look at the new Spider-Man suit for Brand New Day. And it's pretty cool looking.
It's a Spider-Man suit. But it's just a classic. It's not like as classic as the one at the end of Whole New World or whatever it was called. No Way Home.
Whole New World. That's when Aladdin shows up on the carpet. And he's like,
I mean, they did open a fucking portal between dimensions, so anything's possible. That one I think was a little bit more classical Spider-Man, but this is still really good Spider-Man. It has the raised webs like the Tobey Maguire. Spidey, which I'm not super psyched about, but I don't know how much that's going to read on film. There's been a ton of...
One thing with it has the raised webs, but the Maguire webs were kind of like a gray, and these are black, so they don't shine as much and like seem to pop as much. So I think that's better.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, it just looks like a good classic Spidey suit. I mean, I could quibble with the spider logo if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. But I could.
I'm going to quibble with the web shooters being on the outside of the costume. I think it looks goofy. I don't like it.
I'm really curious about that, actually. I'm curious what that's going to be. Like, are they actually on the outside of the costume, or is this a thing that they're going to paint over in CGI and there's like a practical reason for him to have those on his wrists?
Maybe. I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, is this like some kind of like partial rig for him to swing with?
That's true, because they are doing real swinging.
They're actually doing real swinging, yeah.
There's videos of that, and it looks awesome.
It looks really good. Yeah. It looks really good.
Yeah.
There's a really amazing picture of Spider-Man on the roof of a car, and every single person who lives in Glasgow is there
It's
to
just
take a
there.
picture.
Yeah.
But it's such a well framed photo; it's unreal how good it looks.
Yeah.
That's got to be very challenging to act in a movie when the entire town is standing directly in front of you,
I
staring at you.
can't imagine how that works. Like, there's no way everyone there in Glasgow is being silent as they're filming.
No, I
So,
mean,
like, are we going to see the movie and Spider-Man's having a conversation with, like, Punisher, and in the background you're just hearing, like, hey, wanker! You know?
yeah, but I like the suit looks great. I mean, Sony was smart. They had a little reveal of it before they began filming because they knew as soon as they got out on location it was going to be photographed. Honestly, the spy photos look great.
Yeah.
So like they should have just let that be the case because they look terrific.
Yeah.
There's one that you posted in the Discord of Spidey swinging above a bus.
It looks amazing.
It looks like you're in New York of the Marvel Universe, and that's really Spider-Man swinging overhead.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that looks.
There's a shot, too, I saw of him jumping out of an explosion, and I was like, oh, my gosh. Like, that could be a cover. Like, it was amazing. It was amazing.
It's pretty cool.
He looks great. He looks great.
It's pretty cool.
Very excited. They also announced some more cast members for Brand New Day. Mark Ruffalo is confirmed, and Michael Mandel is finally showing back up as Scorpion.
Only took, I think, how many? 9 years, 7 years, something like that?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, to get him back. But good, I'm glad. I mean, who knows how much of a role he's going to have?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, is Michael Mando showing up for, like, the James Bond opening? Or is he one of a bunch of crime bosses that he's going to have to deal with? I saw a really interesting theory that everybody's saying it's the Savage Hulk that's going to be dealing with, and Punisher and Spider-Man are going to like have to figure out how to deal with him or whatever.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be much cooler if he was Joe Fixit?
That'd be fun.
And so he's like involved in a gang war?
Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
don't think that's what they're doing. I don't think, but like that would be pretty cool though. Joe Fixit, for those that don't know, is a version of the Hulk who is smart and gray, and he lived in Las Vegas and he was a mob boss. Fucking rules. He wore a suit and everything. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be 100% where I would go with it. I would 100% go with Joe Fixit. But all the rumors say Savage Hulk, so that means that he's going to be pretty brutal and mindless.
I'm just shocked, a little shocked that Marvel's like, well, people didn't like the Hulk stuff in Captain America. Let's put it in Spider-Man now.
They like the Hulk, though.
They do.
They like the Hulk. That's the thing. They like Mark Ruffalo and they like the Hulk. So that's sort of, I think, what they're going with. They didn't like Red Hulk. Well, they didn't like the movie in general.
No.
But I think people are excited to see the Hulk. He's a fan fave. And they can't make a Hulk movie. I think maybe now they can make a Hulk movie. Maybe the rights finally reverted back for title. Because there's a lot of rumors of them making a Planet Hulk movie. But that's been happening for a long time.
That's kind of rough because they already used a lot of that for Ragnarok.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're going to do with Planet Hulk. Do you know what I mean? Like, is there a way that you could have like a Hulk invasion, which is what happens in that? Like, maybe you could do something with that. My big question is, do you think we're ever going to see fucking Scar again? He showed up in the last scene of She-Hulk. No. He looked like shit in the last scene of She-Hulk.
No. I think a couple of weeks ago when Kevin Feige was like, yeah, we're not going to have that much of crossover between TV and movies. He might as well have just been like, Scar is gone. He's out. Don't worry about that guy.
We're never going to bring that up again.
Bruce Banner will never mention his child again.
Yeah, no, it's just totally not going to be discussed. But I'm excited. I'm really hopeful. The amount of practical stuff that we're seeing on this movie makes me really excited. And the fact that they are, in fact, casting street-level villains. They're having street-level villains for sure in this. Like, Scorpion's straight-up street-level. Like, that's, the cops could technically... cops could technically take him out. Like, if he would probably kill a bunch of them, but they could do it. And I hope that the rumors are there's Tombstone and a couple of other guys. That's the rumors. And the big rumor is Mr. Negative. So one of the costume designers, a lot of the new scoop thing is people finding Pinterest mood boards from the folks working on these movies. And the costume designer had done a whole mood board with like samurai stuff.
Yeah.
Which people think is definitely related to Mr. Negative. And there was, I guess...
not, though. Like, at least... Samurai stuff's not Mr. Negative's thing in the comics or anything.
No, I know, but...
Kabuki stuff, isn't it?
But I wonder if she's using that, like, for design stuff. for like his guys, or they're going to change his look a little bit so he's got a little bit of that. I mean, like, it seems plausible, you
Sure,
know.
sure.
One of the other guys, storyboard guy or somebody, had Spider-Man with the Hulk on his Pinterest recently, so that was definitely for real. So
Marvel's going to tell everybody to stop using Pinterest.
I mean, it is kind of crazy. It
Yeah,
is kind of crazy.
yeah. They're all out there. You can find it out. But well, they're filming right now in Glasgow, and again, the suit looks amazing. I think the suit looks great. He looks very much. He looks more like Spider-Man than he has in the previous movies, I guess. Even though
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like Spider-Man, but much more classic Spider-Man look to it.
Classic Spider-Man look to it, yeah. And that's, Feige had said recently on the red carpet that this is his first outing as the real Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Where he has no friends, he's on his own. Like, that's what I mean. As much as those three movies were good, I really enjoyed those three movies a lot. By the end of those three, I was truly fiending for classic Spider-Man. Like, I don't want him to have a billionaire guy.
well,
And
I mean, I think you had said this previously that all the movies, and this one now too, with Hulk and Punisher showing up, the Spider-Man movies are really Spider-Man team-up stories.
yeah, yeah.
And they work. Like, I got no problem with that. They're fun, but they are Spider-Man team-up stories. They're not Spider-Man stories. Although this one maybe leans more into Spider-Man story territory.
I mean, it seems that way to me. I mean, it seems like a story where Spidey and the Punisher have to team up begrudgingly is pretty much a classic Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
So that's like how it goes. And then throw in like the bigger threat of, say, the Savage Hulk or whoever the main villain is, whether or not it's Mr. Negative. Then you get something interesting. You know what I mean? Like, because I think Punisher bouncing off of Spider-Man is probably more interesting than Punisher bouncing off of Daredevil.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I would have to imagine that if they're taking this at all in any kind of comic accurate way, the Punisher is going to be incredibly irritated by Spider-Man at every opportunity.
Sure.
Which is not the Daredevil thing. Daredevil's like, we're the same, but this is gonna be like, shut up, kid. You're really pissing me off. Like, that's what I want out of this. So let's see. Let's hope that's what we're getting.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think everyone else from Daredevil is sitting at home like, oh, come on, get to be in this?
Vincent D'Onofrio said it's against the law for him to be in this movie.
It's against the law. Yep. Also, poor Paul Giamatti's like, good. Can I come back? Come on. I don't have to do that accent. I can just be the Rhino. It'll be cool. He's busy on Star Trek now. He's having fun. Getting to do what he loves. And he's making a horror movie, isn't he? I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That's what Paul Giamatti loves to do. Cool. And that's it for news.
We got an image of Punisher in his full outfit from the set of the Punisher special that they're filming. They're using a Punisher stand-in Glasgow right now because Bernthal's in New York shooting this Punisher special for Disney Plus, and I think it looks.
Not time that out well.
I mean, he's probably going to get on a plane and go directly over for all the actual Punisher stuff.
No, I agree, but you think they if they're using a stand-in, that means they're going to have to go back and shoot scenes again with him,
maybe
right?
they're going to have to do close-ups, but I think what's happening right now is they're using a stand-in for these big action sequences that they're shooting in the streets. I think that's going to be the deal. I think it's going to be a thing where you're going to be far enough away from the Punisher that you're not going to even notice at the back of his head or whatever. And then when they have to do like inserts of him talking or whatever, they'll shoot those. Probably on a green screen if I had to guess, but we'll see.
Arrested Development style.
Exactly. But the costume that he's wearing in this Punisher special is pretty much the Punisher. You know how in the Daredevil and the other Punisher show, that skull was pretty light?
Yeah.
Like it was like really kind of just brushed on. This time he has the skull. It's quite big and it's quite white. It's quite bright. Like it's a real symbol as opposed to sort of like something that's been through the wash 100 times. Yes. And I mean, like the thing about the Punisher is you're never going to put him in his classic outfit with the white buccaneer boots. There's just no planet in the white gloves. There's no planet where that happens. And I'm not mad about it. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a nice look for the comics, but that's not going to work in real life.
No. I do wish that they would give him the belt where he's got the white magazine clips on the front.
I think he has that, doesn't he?
No, he does not.
No, he doesn't have that?
No.
I thought he did, but I guess I am wrong.
I'm pretty sure he does not.
Let's look at. I'm gonna look this picture up because it's on the Marvel Studio Leaks subreddit, and let's see what we get. You have to vamp for me while I try to find this.
I'm also looking up on Punisher First Look. That's not it.
Um,
Off.
hey, just brand new news.
Oh yeah, what happened?
1 hour ago, Jeff Snyder says Marvel intends on moving forward with the Fantastic Four sequel despite its second weekend drop. Disney hopes it doesn't have the magazines.
It's got like space, like he's got like pouches on his sides, and then they stop, and the skull painting is there.
Okay,
It's hard. I can't really.
I can't. Yeah, I can't
Trying
really
to
see it.
Yeah.
But they're going to do a sequel, even though the second week of the box office was horrible.
Yes.
Like really bad.
It was brutal.
It was like a 67% drop, and 50% is kind of standard for these things. But this is kind of unreal.
I was reading posts in Reddit box office,
Yeah.
and I don't know who it is, but there's somebody in there that any Fantastic Four talk shows up as Doctor Doom and is like just laughing. He's like, "Ha ha, Richard, you have failed!" And it makes me laugh every time. Oh, they cannot defeat me. I am Doom. It's great.
I mean, I guess the premise here is that they hope that the Fantastic Four being prominent in Doomsday and Secret Wars, plus people discovering it at home, because the people like the movie. Like, it isn't one of those things where the word of mouth is bad. People like the movie.
Yeah.
That it will create an audience for the sequel when they get around to it.
Yeah, I imagine they're looking at it. If this is true, they're looking at like Captain America: The First Avenger, eked out a profit, not really much. Normally, that would not get a sequel, but they're like, well, this guy's going to be in the Avengers movie, and that's going to up his like branding.
Right.
And then a second movie should do better. And sure enough, the second movie made like $400 million more, right? And then the third movie made $1 billion, and it's like,
Yeah.
I
mean, they kind of rigged it a little bit, but
Sure. But I think they're hoping for that kind of thing with Fantastic Four.
yeah, Shackman is supposed to come back as director.
That I find questionable because he's doing X-Men, right?
No, he's not.
I thought he was doing X-Men. Oh, no, it's the guy who did Thunderbolts.
Jake Schreier,
right?
who did
That's
Thunderbolts, is doing X-Men. Yeah, that is not questionable. Jeff Snyder's pretty reliable.
Yeah.
Everybody on Reddit likes to go, I don't know about this guy. And yeah, sure, Jeff Snyder posted a picture of himself with no clothes on in a Speedo the other day. But like that has no bearing on his scoop reliability. He's pretty reliable. He has good info. And again, we said this before on the show a lot of times. People who actually get info are telling you what is happening right now.
At the moment, yeah.
And things change and things evolve. So what you're hearing is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, if Matt Shackman or anyone at Marvel is listening, my one piece of advice for Fantastic Four sequel, more character arguing. Bring in some of that stuff. That's the stuff that people like about Marvel movies in general, and the Fantastic Four in specific, and also a little more action. That chase scene with Silver Surfer in space, one of the best action sequences in a superhero movie of all time, I think. I am amazed by that scene. I went to see it again this past weekend, and that scene just blows me away. So I would do more action.
You know what's funny, though? Like, I like that it was a little bit lighter on action. It has that feeling of Phase 1. Because those Phase 1 movies had light action.
No, I agree, but because the characters are very much aligned, there's not much tension or stuff happen. Like I mean, stuff is happening, but they're just kind of like, we'll do this. Yes, we'll do this. And it's kind of like, no, let Ben and Johnny argue. Like, get that stuff in there.
I mean, I do wonder how much of that stuff was in there. They cut this movie down a lot, so I do wonder how. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We shall see.
The cinematographer for the Punisher special presentation. I can't believe this. I just saw this right now. Robert Elswit, who did There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
So I guess it's going to look good, I guess.
Yeah.
God willing. Robert Elswit, that's fucking insane.
Wow.
Man, good for him. I mean, I hope it pays well and, God bless. But boy, that's crazy. Wow.
That's fun.
Anything else for news? That's it?
That's all I got.
We got nothing in the DCU front?
No, it's pretty quiet right now. pretty. I mean, they announced Wonder Woman like 2 weeks ago. That's being written, and they've been pretty quiet since then. Gunn takes to social media every now and again. He said he's working on his new script right now, but everything is pretty silent. I mean, Peacemaker starts in like
In a
2
couple
weeks.
weeks, yeah.
So they've been doing a lot of Peacemaker promotion stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And they're making a big deal out of hiding the final 3 episodes of Peacemaker season 2 from
Right.
critics, saying there's big surprises in there that we don't want spoiled.
I've seen critics complain about this because critics have become so spoiled in the modern streaming era that they're used to getting the whole thing and they write about the whole thing. And so I saw a critic who I know say that he had watched a bunch of episodes and then realized there weren't the final 3, so he would not be able to review it. And I was like, I don't know, man. You used to review shit week by week.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've been listening to the Peacemaker podcast.
So have I.
It's pretty okay.
It's all right. It's okay. There is one thing in the Peacemaker podcast. I don't think he said it in every episode, but he said it, I think, in the latest one, the one from this past Monday, where James Gunn introduces, like, this is the Peacemaker podcast with your host, James Gunn. I didn't choose the name for this. And it's like,
Yeah.
You're in charge. You can tell him, like, I'm not going to say with your host, James Gunn. Like, that can't be the title. It should just be the Peacemaker podcast or whatever.
There have been a couple of occasions on the Peacemaker podcast where I feel like they're kind of shit talking people that I'm very surprised by. They were shit talking the guy that originally played Vigilante.
Yes.
Like it was like not like right out, but like you could hear it. Like it was like, oh, these guys did not like this dude. And then they were shit talking. Gunn was there with his line producer and the VP of physical production at DC Studios,
Who used to be his, like, assistant or something like that, right? He says?
Yeah. About a shot where the camera zooms in on a computer console and they had to do it 75 times. And Gunn says, I don't know if the problem was with the dolly or the focus puller or if I was just being too picky. And the guy busts in and goes, it wasn't the last one. And I'm like, wow, you just threw 2 members of the crew under the bus, right? The Gunn specifically put himself in that just to like not blame. Yeah, that was kind of wild.
That same episode, the guy is talking about how for the camera department for the first movie, the cinematographer and whatnot, or for the first season, they told him, like, no dollies. We're never using dollies on this show. And then they showed up the first day, and there was a dolly set up, and Gunn was like, what are you doing? like what is happening? And they were like, we had to keep telling them, like, multiple days in a row, no dollies. They kept setting up dollies. And so they're tossing that guy under the bus as well.
I'm assuming he's not coming back for the second season, so all I can imagine.
Come back for the second season. Yeah.
I mean, if you don't usually listen to these kind of podcasts because you don't get like anything significant out of it, I mean, I think we've really covered the most bitchy parts more or less at this point. He also was shit talking on Marvel a little bit, but like it was pretty minor about being unhappy towards the end.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they did fire him and bring him back, and he was clearly.
But that wasn't Marvel's fault.
No. Well, I mean, and that's something I think he makes very clear quite often. Is like, this wasn't Marvel. This was high ups.
No, but I'm saying that he was unhappy about something that was not that. Like that he was not there was something that was, he was just not.
He's talked about this openly too. He hates that they killed Gamora in.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, that he asked them not to do that, and they're like, "Nah, we're doing it." And he's like, "You just messed up all my stuff. Like, I gotta figure this out now." Because he wanted to kill Gamora in 2, and they said, no, don't do that. And then they killed her in Avengers, and he's like, what are you doing? Like, you're messing with me here.
Yeah.
So he was pretty annoyed by that, apparently.
All right, we got questions.
It is a good podcast. It's a pretty funny podcast.
It's pretty good.
They're pretty open.
Yeah. You got questions?
I do. Jeff asks, what's the big deal about Mephisto? People have been speculating about his appearance on shows and movies for a while now.
So there's a couple of reasons why he's a big deal. One, he's the devil. Within most comics universes, to say that one character is the devil or whatever is tricky because a lot of different comics will introduce characters who are supposed to be the devil. So like most comic universes have like 6 different guys who might be the devil. DC might have the most specific devil because they had Lucifer and Sandman, and technically he must carry through but his stuff was all Vertigo, so I don't even know if he's ever shown up in the DC.
His stuff was all Vertigo, and they can also fall on, well, he quit, So then all of a sudden there's a whole contest. Who's the devil? You know, because they
Their
have
guy wasn't it?
Blaze. They have
Wasn't it? Was Neron their guy?
Neron was a devil. Yep.
But Neron's thing is that his name is a it's got something to do with I can't remember what it is. There's some thing happening in the name that ties it directly to Satan. I mean, so the thing is that 666 in the Bible is probably code for Nero. And it's not really actually because with Hebrew gematria, there's every word has a numerical equivalent, and Nero apparently comes out to 666. I don't know how it works, so I don't know. But I think he was supposed to be Satan. You know what I mean? Like they just didn't want to. You don't think so?
I mean, because he was introduced in the '90s for
the mid '90s for Underworld Unleashed,
right?
Yeah,
and he was a Mark Waid creation, and his whole deal was. DC was like, we need a way to power up some of our villains. We got a lot of goofy villains. How do we power them up, make them stronger? And it's like, well, if they sell their souls to Neron, and then Neron gives them more power, and that kind of thing goes down, that's one way to do it, right? And they did that for a little bit for Underworld Unleashed, and Neron shows up every now and again. But to be very clear, I think Mark Waid is one of the greatest comic book writers of all time. I love 99% of the things he does. Whenever he's doing an event series, it is bad. He's just not good at event series. I don't know why. He's just not good at them. It's just not his strong suit. And Underworld Unleashed was not a good series. It was not a good story. And Neron kind of just vanished into the background. And again, he'll pop up every now and then.
He got deposed. So I'm looking at the DC wiki here. During the Reign in Hell storyline, he was deposed by Lord Satanus and Lady Blaze, and then Blaze took out Satanus, and now Lady Blaze rules Hell. Okay. So the devil right now is Lady Blaze.
Okay, but then I mean, you also have like the Lords of Order and the Lords of Chaos, and the Lords of Chaos are kind of the devil. Like they go up against the Spectre all the time. They're kind of the Spectre's big
so within Marvel, Mephisto is I think the earliest devil that Marvel had, and he's a pretty classical devil. He lives in hell. He buys souls. He does deals with souls. He's all red. But also the thing about Mephisto and also Mephistopheles is obviously what his name is. The thing about Mephisto is that he's like he's like lame not like as a character, but like as a guy. Like he's kind of like a big baby, and he's like sometimes a coward and stuff. And I think it's a really fun take on that like instead of being the big tough devil, he's kind of like this soliloquizing jerk off. And I kind of love that about him. And he's a pretty big deal in the MCU, the Marvel Comics universe. And so people, and also because he opens up a new world in the MCU. Like once you bring in the devil, now we're hitting a different thing altogether. Like we have magic, but like once you bring in the devil, now you have a different kind of magic happening. So that you could argue magic is just a way of controlling the primal forces of the universe. But now you have the devil. And so, and he's taking people's souls. So like that, I think is why it was a big deal, but also because people have been speculating about everybody showing up for a long time. So sometimes certain characters get hung up in the fan imagination. Like everybody thought Mephisto was going to show up in Vision and Scarlet Witch. And that's because Mephisto in the comics, no, Dr. Pandemonium created the babies, but Mephisto took their souls. Is that the story? I cannot remember.
I think he took their souls.
I can't remember. It's a very complicated story where the babies were never real. And in fact, they were little demons. At first everyone thought it was going to be Marvel or WandaVision, and then people thought it was going to be Loki because, like in the first episode of Loki, there's a scene in a church and there's a stained glass window with the devil on it. Right. And they're like, "This is it. This is going to be it." And then it became like any possible show, any movie was like, "This has got to be it now." Yeah. And like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they're going to fight Mephisto. It's like, no, they're not. Like, what sense would that make? Yeah.
And now he showed up, and Sacha Baron Cohen got in real beefy shape for it. And then we're like, great.
I don't know why.
Here's a loose fitting man tailored shirt and a jacket for you to wear. No one's going to see it. Good for you.
I don't understand why. I guess the deal here is that
he got divorced. I think.
Scarlet Witch used pieces of Mephisto's soul to create her sons. Is what the internet is telling me. I can't remember. I haven't read the story in a long time, so
Yeah.
but Mephisto's cool. Like, he's fun. You know what I mean? Like, he's fun looking, and he will sometimes speak kind of Shakespearean in the comics. And the Devil's just great. You know, the Devil's
He's
just
also
cool.
he's one of the rare Marvel characters. I think one of the rare Marvel characters who is in theory, like a universal threat, but usually just shows up in other people's, like, other heroes' comics and kind of does goofy stuff. So that makes him a little more fun. Like, he'll show up in, like, Iron Man's got to deal with Mephisto this week, and then Spider-Man's got to deal with him, and then, over here he is dealing with the Captain America. Like,
Right.
he's just kind of popping in and out of stuff all the time, and he
Right.
doesn't have a singular character that he's connected to.
Right.
So I think that makes him a little more fun as well.
Yeah, he definitely is a character who pops up in, like, everybody's fucking thing. He's a Silver Surfer character, technically. I can't remember the last time Silver Surfer dealt with Mephisto. I cannot remember at all. He's in a lot of Spider-Man. Spider-Man has ended up being a pretty significant character for Mephisto, down to the Brand New Day, one day more, where he gave
one more day,
one more day where he gave away his marriage so that Aunt May could live, but he's just, like, really fun, and again, like, that's the thing, people got really hung up on him showing up, so they just kept on going.
Yeah.
But I think Doom's mom is in Mephisto's hell, right?
Yes. Right?
Yeah,
That's the Iron Man Doctor Doom graphic novel. Is they go to hell together, right?
And it's Mephisto's hell. It's not like a different hell. It's that hell.
Yeah. No, they go fight Mephisto.
Yeah, yeah. So Peter Fonda played him in Ghost Rider.
Yes, he did.
So I would like, we talked about on the Ironheart shows. You were very disappointed he was just a guy. I was okay with it. I thought it was really he was really well written. I thought, like, there's, like, a pettiness to him that the show got. I really like we did a Secret Wars 2 podcast series, and Mephisto's, like, kind of really irritated with the Beyonder a lot. Like, and I kind of that's like the kind of shit that I like about Mephisto.
Right? Is it in Secret Wars 2? Like, he talks to the Beyonder, and then he goes to, like, all the cosmic entities, and he's like, "What are we gonna do about this guy?
This guy's a fucking problem over here." So Mephisto's cool, and I do hope he shows up in more stuff. I hope that we get it.
Yes, and I hope he looks like Mephisto, because he was well written. I mean, overall, Ironheart was very good. I wish he looked like Mephisto,
Right.
like, even for, like, a scene or two. Like, I get not when they're sitting there eating pizza, that would look weird,
Right.
but in one or two scenes, more than just, like, he looks in the spoon and we see the reflection. That was
Right.
I hate stuff like that. I think that's cheesy. Anyway, Mark says, "Hey fellas, I'm a big fan of the show." Thanks, Mark. Have you ever made an acquaintance with a person who shares a name with a comic book character? At one point a few years ago, I worked with Barry Allen and a Carl Creel. Neither one was aware of their harmonious names. And yes, I used the word harmonious to see if Derek would mispronounce it. I don't think I did.
No, you said harmonious correctly. But now they're just trolling you now.
Yeah, they do that.
The listeners are trolling you now.
That's fine, as long
gonna
as they're
see-
listening.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. I would possibly shit my pants if I met somebody named Barry Allen. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd be like, what?
I actually worked with a guy like 25 years ago. I still had an office job, and I actually worked with a guy, and his name was Blackagon Boltagon. So, yeah. Believe it or not, like, I was like, "Hey, buddy, did you know that your name is the name of a character from the Inhumans, Blackagon Boltagon?"
The weird part is he didn't say anything.
He did not say a word. We don't say Blackagon Boltagon enough on this podcast.
No.
Which is Black Bolt's real name, is Black Boltagon. God, the Silver Age is stupid as hell.
That is the most Ash Williams joke in Multiverse of Madness, when they say the name. And I forgot what Doctor Strange's answer is, but he responds making his name like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which feels so much like Evil Dead Ash.
But no, I've never worked with a guy with a comic book name either.
I've worked with two people who have names that you would think were comic book characters, but they were not comic book characters. It was Hideki Omega
Oh, wow.
and Fritz Stryker.
Wow, that guy sounds like he's a hard time for Captain America.
Yes, he does. He does. And I always thought to myself, like, one day if I somehow magically became like a successful comic book writer, I would turn them into characters. I would use their names. Like, it's crazy not to. Those are perfect names. So, but that did not happen. So if you're out there and you write comics, go use those names. They're good names.
All right, what's our last letter?
Our last letter is from Christopher, and I added the date to this to try and help us figure this out. This is from July 11th. What is the outro music you're using for the Watchmen podcast? I know it, and it kills me every time because I can't place it.
It's the same outro music every single episode, so you don't have to. The date is not going to make a difference. It's from the Watchmen soundtrack, and it is Mozart's Requiem.
There you go.
So yeah, that's it. It's Mozart's Requiem. So I just chose it because in the first episode that we did, I wanted some kind of Watchmen related music, and you can't really. and, and it's called Requiem, and it's got that nice sound to it. And I said, you know what, this is a good way to end a podcast. So that's the deal. It's Tyler Bates's take on Mozart's Requiem.
There you go.
There you go. A simple answer. However, I do want to say that if you're listening to this podcast and you're listening to the Marvel Vision podcast specifically, I hope people recognize why I'm using certain songs as the transition song. I like to do like kind of a lot of jokes. I kind of like to do like a lot of silly transition songs that relate to something about the episode we're talking about, but not like 100%. So like I put a lot of work into it, and I don't know if anybody ever notices it. You know what I mean? But like for like the Fantastic Four Watchmen, the intro music is "Eat It" by Weird Al Yankovic.
Ah, for Galactus.
For Galactus, right? Yeah. So stuff like that. Like, and for the episode where we read the first appearance of Franklin Richards, I used "It's a Boy" from Tommy by The Who.
There you go.
Yeah, so I do stuff like that, So that's kind of like what I like doing. So if people recognize or realize there's a little joke there, nobody ever mentions this, so I don't know if anybody actually pays attention. They just like they hit the 30-second button to get out of the thing. Yeah. But that's a thing I do. So
I'd like to say if you listen to Marvel Vision, which we're 47 minutes in, so I imagine you do if you're listening to this. Don't be afraid to go to YouTube and like our YouTube page and subscribe to our YouTube page and watch them that way with the videos and stuff. We'd appreciate it. It's a fun time.
Yeah, it's Cinema Sangha is the YouTube channel, SANGHA. And we put up the Marvel Vision there, video version. We've been trying to make it look a little bit better. And there's still work to do, but like it's interesting.
It's much better looking than it was a month ago. Definitely
Yes.
put a lot of work into it, and it looks really, really good now. And we're getting there, piece by piece.
Yeah, and so just feel free to go subscribe and like a couple of videos or whatever. Help us out, like get us out there. We want to get that YouTube monetization, so like help us out there. We want to make 7 cents a video. That's like the goal here. 7 cents a fucking video.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, and also you can send your questions to us by emailing them to ask.cinema.sangha@gmail.com. Put the name of the show that you want it read for, either Bad Batch or Marvel Vision, in the subject line, and then ask your question. I request that you just do one question per email, but you can send in as many emails as you like.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, just it makes it easier for Derek's record keeping if there's just one per email. All right, are you ready to talk about the 4 episodes of the cartoon series Eyes of Wakanda?
I am.
All right, let's do it. Eyes of Wakanda, Season 1, Episodes 1 through 4. Have you heard anybody talking about this?
No.
I guess a little surprised by this.
Are you?
Yeah. You're not surprised?
No.
Did you not like these?
No.
Oh, I loved these. I thought this was great.
I did not. I thought it was extremely repetitive.
Oh.
I think it was a poorly thought out story.
I think it's the opposite of repetitive, and that's one of the things that I was really impressed by, is that it's the opposite of repetitive. That they go out of their way each episode to make the mission different and to hit a different thing about it.
But my problem is each mission is the same mission. Hey, go get that vibranium, and it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
but it's just a MacGuffin. Like,
yeah, no. But what I'm saying is, you have these 4 episodes, a chance to really dig into Wakanda, and you're just telling stories outside of Wakanda. One person leaving Wakanda to go do stuff. It's
yeah,
like,
but that's the premise though that you walked in with. That was always the premise of that you wanted a different TV show.
I'm pretty sure, or at least I thought the premise when they first announced it was like digging into the history of Wakanda.
I mean, it was. They said they were going to go into the history of Wakanda through the people that take that get artifacts back. So that was always the pitch. It was always the pitch.
There wasn't much of a sense of the history of Wakanda.
No, one of my small problems with this is that Wakanda has been pretty much modern since the days of before ancient Greece.
Yeah,
it's a little weird.
like in 1400 BC, they have cell phones. It's like, what?
So episode 1 is called Into the Lion's Den, and so we open with so like one of the things that I really liked about this show is that it has like really interesting history stuff in it. So in this time period, about 1260 BC is when the or actually BCE, before the Common Era. Don't say before Christ, before the Common Era. About this time,
I always thought it was before Chocodiles.
no, that's you have to add on another 1900 years. But there were a real group called the Sea Peoples who would just show up and raid everybody, and we don't know who they were. Today we don't know. There's like a lot of theories over who the Sea Peoples were.
Who they were.
But there's like a lot of theories, and it's definitely just like some group that we already know about. You know what I mean? But like the people they were raiding did not know who they were, so they called them the Sea Peoples.
Right?
No, the Vikings in the Mediterranean.
I don't know. They were all over the place.
No, I don't think there was even Vikings at this point in history. No, it was definitely
There's a Viking in this story.
Yes, I would say that's probably anachronistic. Is she a Viking or is she just like a northern barbarian?
I'm pretty sure each of them has been a main character in an Assassin's Creed game. Each one of those like sub bosses.
So I think she might just be like a Visigoth or something. I don't know. She does seem like a Viking to me, and that's how I read her too. But it's plausible that she's just a Northern European barbarian.
I mean, she has what sounded to me like an American accent.
Yeah, I mean, but I wouldn't even read.
accent.
Yeah, I wouldn't
No,
read into
yeah.
the accents. Yeah, I mean, like whatever. I did love her fucking bow.
Yeah, that was cool.
It had the skull on it. The skull is the handguard. That was really fucking cool. So the Sea People show up and they take out Crete, and they take a bunch of women, and one of the women, it turns out, is actually a Delora Milaje, who is she got kicked out, and she didn't want to work with the group. She was sort of like a little hot-headed, a little independent.
She's like, I didn't make it, I failed. And the boss was like, you didn't fail. You just didn't pass the tests. That's failing. You failed. You didn't make it. I don't know what to tell you.
So she ends up getting captured, and she realizes that these Sea People, they're led by the lion, and he's sort of like a warrior god kind of a thing. They worship him, and she quickly realizes that this guy's got Wakandan technology. That's like what his secret is. He has Wakandan shit.
Well, she was sent to find him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because the concern here is that he left. I don't remember the exact order of these revelations in the show, but he left the War Dogs because he was tired of. He had been out to the outside world enough times that he was like, "Why the fuck are we keeping ourselves isolated? We could rule this shit. Like, we could just take this." And so he left to do exactly that. And the concern within Wakanda, not only that he's a traitor who left them, but also that they are worried that he might actually build up an army to come fight
took a
Wakanda.
bunch of tech with him.
Yeah, so they're concerned that he might be able to show back up with a bunch of fucking dudes. So if she's able to pull this off, she gets to rejoin the Dora Milaje. And I gotta say, man, like this episode in particular is like really heavily action oriented.
Yeah.
I think the animation on this show is great.
It's a great looking show. The animation is great. Those are not my problems with this show at all. I wish What If looked half as good.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and
Yeah.
but not just that, but like just the actual like fucking animation itself. Like
Yeah.
the action is great
Oh,
looking,
it's very smooth. It's
and
very
it's
smooth.
really cool. Like there's a lot of really cool action shit happening in this.
Yeah.
Like all these fights. This episode particularly, there's like fucking nonstop fights, and they're all amazing. They're all really interesting. There's like all different kinds of styles, and there's all kinds of different like villains. And yeah, so he's got this whole all these goons. All his goons. He has like the United Nations of goons. He's got like a Japanese guy. He's got that maybe Viking lady. What else does he have?
He's got a big guy, like a Samoan, I think he is.
Could be, yeah. Could be a Pacific
then-
Islander, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's got a guy that just looks exactly like the Assassin's Creed dude from the first game.
Yeah, he does. But you know what? Somebody on Blue Sky said to me, it really gave me Assassin's Creed vibes, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, but that's okay. Like they haven't done anything good with Assassin's Creed anyway. Like
Yeah.
they made that one horrible Michael Fassbender movie. Like if this show is gonna like riff on Assassin's Creed, which by the way I'm sure it is. Like I'm sure that's part of like one of the touchstones for them. There's almost no way that it's not, right?
Yeah.
But if they're going to do that, that's fine. Like, just do something fucking cool. And I think they did cool. Like, the action and stuff like that is really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can see Ryan Coogler being in there, being like, "Yeah, they're like Assassin's Creed dudes, right?" Because
Yeah.
he's a gamer, he's into anime, and like all that.
Yeah,
kind
he
of
knows
stuff,
all that
so,
shit. Yeah, he knows all that shit. She ends up making it onto. She has this giant fucking ship that's like 10 stories tall. It's got this giant lion head up front. And she beats all the guys that she's there to fight. And she makes it onto his ship and then goes to confront him. And he is the Derek Faraci's least favorite kind of villain, which is he's a guy who has a point.
He kind of has a point, but not really. Like he keeps saying, like, "Oh, out here is freedom. Wakanda is not freedom," but he never explains what about Wakanda is not freedom. He's just like, I
mean-
like it out here because I get to live on this big boat.
I mean, one thing that's not freedom is you can't go anywhere.
But he does. That's his whole deal. He's one of the mad dogs, or whatever.
But a
they're called,
regular
right?
person doesn't get to go anywhere. Like if you're a regular Wakandan, you probably don't get to go fucking take a jaunt to Italy. Like you know what I mean? Like you just have to stay within Wakanda, more or less. And I could see that being boring eventually. There's a bit in the third episode where the main guy, Basha, looks out the window and is like, I never get tired of this view. And I was like, well, that's pretty good because everybody who lives here is trapped with that view forever. Like, they don't get a different view. These people don't get to see the desert or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's interesting. And I think also the argument that like being hidden in and of itself is not free because it just really limits your options in general. Like you just got to do whatever they say because you can't be seen. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, he gives her this whole speech, and our Assassin Creed, Achaia, is like, no, she's not Achaia, right? What's the woman's name?
I don't know.
Gosh.
One-Eye Jones.
Jones. Noni. So she's like, listen, you got a point, but the things that you're putting people in chains and you're making yourself God, like, you had a point, but, like, you maybe take it a little too fucking far. And so they get into a big fight. And
That is one thing I do like is they do great bad guy stuff.
Yeah.
When, like, they take captives and they put them in chains, and the guy says, it may seem odd to you, something along the lines of, it may seem odd to you that we put you in chains to free you, but you've been in captivity so long, you know, chains are freeing and stuff like that kind of stuff, right? Like,
yeah,
I
and
like that.
they give the prisoners the option to join them or to be convinced to join them,
Yeah.
which I like a lot too. Like, that's pretty good. And that is sort of the kind of thing that happened in the ancient world with some regularity.
Yeah, and there's one guy who says, when you have clothes on your back and
a
a
full belly.
you will learn to love him.
Yes.
And it's like, I like that. I like that kind of evil stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and slavery was a pretty big deal in the ancient world. In fact, the Bible has rules for slaves. Like, as a slave owner, how you're supposed to treat your slaves. That's how common it was. In Rome, it was pretty easy to become a slave, and but being a slave would often have an endpoint, or you could buy your way out of it if you saved up your money. So it's not quite the chattel slavery that we know from America. It's still not great. I'm not saying that it's great.
Yeah.
But it's
America
not quite
always
that.
finds a way to make it worse.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, that's pretty bad, but I think we could really top that shit.
What if they can't buy their freedom?
Yes. What if it's for the rest of their lives? And also, like in many of these societies, like with the Bible having rules about how to treat your slaves, there were kind of etiquette about how to treat a slave,
Yeah.
and it was not necessarily like it was in the South. I mean, it was awful. Don't get me wrong. I'm not making any excuses for ancient slavery, but it was what we did in the South was, I would say, world historically terrible. Like
Yeah.
it's maybe like the worst cultures ever treated slaves that way. Anyway, so she fights him. She gets her fucking eye taken out, which I quite liked. And I liked that it was for no reason.
No, just in the fight.
Yeah, just in the
Well,
fight. Like
it's
she,
for a reason.
not really, because she shows up in the next episode and you recognize her because of the eye patch. But
Yeah.
like, that isn't that big a deal. Do you know what I
No.
mean? Like, and that isn't like the format of the show. It isn't like each.
No, after that, we do not follow character to character.
Yeah, and so I thought it was just like a cool thing. Like, and she just looks badass with the fucking eye patch and shit. I thought it was really, really great. He doesn't want to lose, so he decides, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going back to Wakanda. I'd rather die.
He goes, "You ever see the Predator?"
And he has a nuclear bomb inside his throne, and he blows up his ship. Noni's able to jump out, but she does lose some of the vibranium tech that she got. She actually loses most of it, I would say.
Yeah.
That also doesn't really come back.
Doesn't it?
How?
That's where I thought like the whole path of the axe begins.
No, I mean,
Although I guess they don't show it, do they? I
they
don't
show
think
they showed them scanning the different eras to find the thing that would change, and it's the axe ends up being the one. So I
Yeah.
think what it is, they looked at these eras and then were like, no, that isn't it. That isn't it.
Okay.
That isn't it. That was my take on it. You know what? That's the fourth and final episode, and I'm really glad. Like, there was like a version of the show where every episode begins and ends with future Wakandans doing a scan,
Yeah.
which is very Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
The worst part of Assassin's Creed is that you're a dude who works in a fucking office building.
The entire game, you're actually just laying on a mattress and like thinking about these things.
So
Yeah.
fucking like it's such a Assassin's Creed, such an amazing fucking concept for a game, but that wraparound story is so fucking dumb that it is like it's like really hard to like get past how dumb it is. And some of the games they actually make you do shit in the
Yeah,
present
like
game.
in like the first and second game, I think, right? You got to do stuff, and maybe in the third, I can't remember. But like they seem to figure out pretty quickly, like, oh, having you sneaking around this office building is really stupid.
Yeah, nobody cares about this. People want
yeah.
to see you. They want to be able to kill Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
Like that's the appeal of the game. I always when I first played Assassin's Creed, I was like, what the fuck is this? Why is this guy in an office building? Like, what the fuck? So she survives, and she drops some of the technology. Although I thought that there's no actual reason, I think, within the story for that, but I do love the idea that they've planted that somebody could pick up at some point that there's Wakandan technology at the bottom of the Mediterranean.
Well, that's why I thought it was connected, because in the final story, they say that the people that they're going after are pirates that found vibranium in a.
Oh, I guess I guess you're right. I mean, but I guess I don't understand how. I guess I don't understand how anybody who's not Wakandan to actually do something with that shit.
Well, I mean, they're not doing anything with it because they don't know what it is.
They turn it into an axe, don't they? That's not one of the items that she takes.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is I think that axe was there, but they never show it in the episode, as far as I know. That's how I took it when they bring that up, like, oh, these pirates found like all this vibranium material,
I guess it could be. I guess
items.
it could be.
That's how I took it.
She goes home and she gets offered a spot back in the door, Melage, and Noni says, "No way, man! I want to fucking join the War Dogs. Like that's my fucking deal." Because she wants to leave Wakanda as much as possible. She wants to see the wide world. Who wouldn't? And so she becomes a war dog, and she's going to be a big higher up in the efforts to find Wakandan technology and vibranium.
And her boss does my favorite boss thing, which
Yeah.
is, I always sensed this was the path for you. No,
Yes.
you didn't.
No, I love that. Well, she's like, I knew that you had to choose it yourself, and it's like you're telling her that you chose it for her. Like this
Yeah,
is like what kind of reverse psychology is this? Like, come
yeah.
on, lady. Episode 2 is Legends and Lies. I also loved this one because it is 100% based on actual rarely seen characters from the Iliad.
Yes.
So Memnon, who is the Wakandan in this, he is a character in the Iliad, and he brings an army from Ethiopia to help the Greeks to take Troy.
Yeah.
And he does spend, and they besiege Troy for 10 years. That's like the fucking deal. That's the story. And so he did spend that time with them. So I love that because Memnon almost I can't remember last time I saw somebody do Memnon in anything but like I thought that was really cool. There's a lost saga of the Trojan War called the Ethiopians, AE, they spelled it, that I think tells more of this story. But Memnon's really cool because he's like pals with Achilles, as seen here in this episode.
Yeah.
But there is a whole thing where one of his pals gets attacked by one of the Greeks on the battlefield, and Memnon gets in the middle and kills the guy. The guy ends up having been the son of a big Greek guy who is Achilles' actual best friend. So Achilles has to fight Memnon, even though neither one of them want to fight, because he has to do it for his friend. In the story, Achilles kills Memnon.
Yeah.
He puts his spear through him. And also, Achilles kills Memnon despite having a prophecy that says, if you kill Memnon, you'll die yourself. He still goes and does it.
That's the full Greek method right there.
So he still goes and does it anyway, because he has to, because it's his duty. You know what I mean? It's his duty as a Greek. I'm going to turn the light on here.
I would think if I was Memnon, I'd be like, I don't think it's very fair that I have to fight Achilles. He's invulnerable.
Well, they do interesting stuff with this in that I think one of my things I like about the Trojan War is I like that you can play with it. The one thing I really wish they had done here is that I wish that they had like Hercules show up or Zeus.
I wish Achilles was invulnerable. That would have been fun. This is a world of superpowered beings. There's no reason not to have him be invulnerable in this story.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Especially you have a moment where he slices his heel. He slices the Achilles heel, which is the one spot that Achilles can be injured in. And it's like, well, if that was the first time he was able to hurt him, that'd be much more exciting and interesting. But
the thing is that the problem with the Achilles heel thing is that, so in the story, his mother had him dipped in something that made him invulnerable, except for the spot where they were holding the baby. Nobody thought like, hey, just dip that part in there too. I love old stories.
Hey, can you just flip him around, do him like half and half? Would that work? Yeah.
But the thing is that in the story, he takes an arrow there and he dies. And that's not, you can't really kill somebody with an Achilles tendon cut. You can definitely cripple them.
Yeah.
But you're not going to really kill them. And so if Memnon has to kill Achilles in this version of the story, and I love the idea that Memnon kills Achilles and that the story the Greeks tell is that Achilles killed Memnon, because Memnon disappears. So like they just made their own story up around it. I kind of love that idea.
And that the prince killed Achilles, right? Isn't that the story?
There's a couple different versions.
Okay.
There's a couple different versions. I can't remember what the exact specific one from the Iliad is. But the prince might have been the one that did it. So I kind of like that Memnon kills him. I think that's kind of cool. Like I was really wondering, like, oh, they're gonna have Achilles kill Memnon. Like, is that what's gonna happen? Are they gonna actually do the myth? And then they didn't. Also, we don't know how much of it's a myth. For many years, people thought it was fully a myth, and then they found Troy in the 1950s. So Troy existed. So who knows about all the rest of it?
They found a skeleton with an arrow in his heel.
Right in his heel. So in this version, Achilles and Memnon are best friends. But Achilles has no idea why Memnon's there, and he's been there for 9 fucking years. Which really feels like, man, like there's got to be a better way to do this. Like, come back when the war's over or something. I don't know. But Memnon's a really solid dude. Like, he's always helping people out. And so we have like a battle where they try to get into Troy, which is heavily fortified, and they can't. Achilles tries to sneak in. They can't get it. And this makes Odysseus decide that the way he was going to do it is he's going to do the Trojan horse. And I also like, too, like there's like enough historical, mythical stuff. Like Achilles' guys were called the Myrmidons.
Yeah.
They're not real. They're not real guys, but we don't think they're real guys. But like that's like awesome that they're here as the Myrmidons. You're right that I do wish that there was more magic though. I would like to have seen Zeus. I mean that would have been.
Or again, just to have Achilles be invulnerable, and set up the idea of like, oh well, except for my heel here, if that gets cut, I'd lose my powers, and then that would make it a bigger thing in that fight between them if he's trying to get to cutting his foot open so that he could lose his powers, and then it's a fair fight. I think that'd be more exciting.
I mean, that'd be interesting. It'd also be interesting though if the the vibranium could kill Achilles. That would be an interesting spin on it too. I mean, there's different ways to do it. But anyway, within the context of what we got, they bring the Trojan horse in, and they have a.
I like when Odysseus comes up and he's like, "I got a plan," and he just hands him like a little toy horse. And I wanted so badly for him to be like, for kids. And just walk away. I'd have been so excited.
Odysseus J. Hudsucker. They get in the Trojan horse. Trojan horse is like one of the great dumb stories that I just love. Like
endlessly hilarious to me.
It's really great. Like it's really like, oh, these guys, they've been fighting us for 9 years, but they brought us a big horse. How nice of them.
Happy anniversary.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? We're making friends here. I love the battle inside the walls of Troy. There's really good action here. There's really, really good action. And Achilles is getting fucked up. Yeah. And when he gets fucked up, he sees Memnon like doing like a boop, 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 sneak away up a staircase.
Yeah, he's got his hands up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Achilles is like, fuck, this guy betrayed me. So Memnon goes upstairs and he finds Helen of Troy and the prince, I forget his name from the story. And they're like, do what you will to us. He's like, I just want that fucking necklace. That's all I want. In fact, he's like, in fact, you guys should get out of here because this shit's about to get real. And Achilles comes up the stairs just in time to see Helen and the prince go down in a secret escape hatch. And this only solidifies for Achilles that Memnon is a traitor, that Memnon's been working for, which by the way was planted in his head earlier by another Greek who's also from the story, who may actually be connected to the guy that Memnon kills. I have not read any of this stuff in a long time. I'm going mostly off memory here. But so he had that in his head, which is actually funny because Achilles' argument is like, he's been here for 9 years. Like he's killed a lot of Trojans and he has saved your life in particular 9 or 10 times. Like it's like kind of a funny, but I think within the context of seeing him sneak away and then seeing him let the rulers go, I think it makes some sense. And so they have a big knockdown drag out fight that ends up in a pool in a fountain where Memnon ends up slicing the Achilles heel. And then kills Mr. Achilles, the brave Achilles, and he feels terrible, like because this was his bro, like that's the thing I like about this story. So like the first story, she is like has this Wakandan who's a bad guy that she has to like confront that. This one, he has to kill his bro for the mission. Like I love that. I think that's a really cool take on this. And then so he goes home. And Noni is now running the War Dogs, and when they get home, it's quite clear that this is he has basically undercover syndrome here, where he's been living this other life for so long, he kind of no longer is a Wakandan in his heart, and so he needs to get out. He needs to fuck off.
He's like, have you had Mediterranean food? It's really good.
It's fucking unreal. The Mediterranean diet, these people live forever, man. Like, I'm telling you. Like, they live in one of those blue zones.
Look, we may have all of this great tech. They have olive oil. Really good for you, as it turns out.
They didn't have tomato sauce yet.
No.
They did not. They would not get tomato sauce for 2,000 more years.
There are tomatoes in the first episode, though. At least I think they were tomatoes. I guess they could have been apples.
They might have been apples or pomegranates or something like that. Although I'm actually not sure if apples were indigenous to Europe either. So I don't really know. Maybe. You know what? Actually, they must have been, because the Trojan War begins when Eris throws a golden apple into the fucking thing. So they must have had apples. Eris's golden apple does that. So you didn't like that one either, huh?
Nope.
How come?
again, like that you're not making Achilles superpowered in a superhero storyline. It seems real goofy to me. And going back to my initial problem, like I like the story ideas, and again, it's beautifully animated, beautiful look. But just that each story is like, hey, we gotta go get this piece of vibranium. It's like I'd like to see different aspects of Wakandan culture. Like, this is called Eyes of Wakanda. It's really Repo Man of Wakanda, is what we're looking at here, and I
It's so
wish it was
funny.
a little different.
You just want a different show. That's the thing. But what you want is you want 4 episodes of Wakandan town halls. That's what you
No,
want.
no, not like Wakanda, but like, all right, like, okay, the people of Wakanda decided at some point, hey, you know what we should do? We should not tell anyone about all of our cool stuff and kind of block ourselves off from the world. I'd like to see the story of why that happened. You know, I'd like to see the story of how the first Black Panther came to be. Like,
But you can't tell that story in this
why not?
cartoon because you got to say that for the movies. If the
You think
movies
they're
ever
gonna do
want
it?
to, I mean, who knows? They might have a story where that's part of like a flashback to the first Black Panther. I think they actually did a first flashback to the first Black Panther, didn't they? In the
I mean, they
first
do the
movie,
thing when he goes into like
Ancestral Plane.
the ancestral plane, but I don't remember if they show like the first Black
I
Panther.
feel like
I
they
can't
might.
remember.
I feel like they might. I can't remember either.
I'd
But I
also
think
like some explanations of how Wakanda works because, in the movies, you got T'Challa and his family and they're running Wakanda, but also here's, M'Baku and he's got his clan and like there's all these different clans. I'd like info about all the different clans and stuff. Just expand the world of Wakanda. But instead, this is just like, well, Wakanda's there in the background for most of this, and we're going to go hang out in Crete. We're going to go hang out in over here or wherever, And I'd like to see more Wakanda stuff.
see, I don't care about that stuff. For me, this show is perfect because I love history and I love seeing this shit take place in different historical periods. I find it really great. And the thing is with Wakanda, they've established that Wakanda's been pretty much at the same level of tech for about 3,000 years at least.
Which is also boring.
Yeah, but that's actually standard comic book shit. Like I can't. I'm sure that I'm sure the Inhumans have had the exact same tech since they first
No,
showed up.
no, sure, but like in the fourth story when they're in Ethiopia and like we got to sneak around, nobody can know we're around here. Now let's get in our car and drive off. It's 1895 and we have a future car just driving down the road. It's like, guys, you are very bad spies. Like this does not work. You know.
Episode 3 is called Lost and Found. And I like this one a lot too. And I like that it opens with our Wakandan spy, Basha, waking up next to a pretty Chinese lady and sneaking out and going to try and steal the vibranium out of the tongue of a sacred dragon statue. And they're way up in like the Himalayas or something. It's like snowy. It's China in 1400 Common Era, and so I really liked that opening a lot. And then I liked
The opening has
also
a real Disney feel to it. I thought like Disney animation feel, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but like that he gets up and he goes and steals the thing, and then when he's walking by the guys, he like waves and they can see the dragon head, and he's
yeah
like, "Oh no!" And then he like turns into a little Aladdin thing where he's running around, and then he's on the slide,
cart, yeah.
the cart, and he turns into a sled. I was like, this is very whimsical Disney feel, and that's not a complaint. I want to be very clear. It's very fun. It's a very fun opening.
Well, I like one of the things I like about this one is I like Basha a lot. He's kind of like a guy who's very convinced he's the smoothest guy, and he kind of isn't, but he's good at his job, but he's not really the smoothest guy, and maybe he like kind of bullshits his way through everything all the time. Like I thought that was really terrific. Like I think we get like a lot of Wakandan characters who are like noble and like whatever, and this guy's like, oh yeah, I got to fuck a hot lady on my mission. It's pretty good. Like more of that energy, So yeah, he ends up tries to get this vibranium from this temple, and he gets chased out, and he has his spaceship or his plane or whatever of buried in some snow, and he takes off and he goes home. And when you're watching, you're like, wow, really? That's it? Like that went off without it pretty well.
I was excited because I was like, now he's going to be home and we're going to see Wakandan life. Not so much.
He goes home, and he had disappeared for a couple of weeks, and that's because he was shagging down with the lady, who was the keeper of the temple. And he says he got caught in a blizzard, and he did, but then he kind of just hung around for a bunch. Like, she showed him around. They kind of fell for each other. They started hooking up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say that as a spy, this is not a bad cover, because when he does go into the temple of the dragon, nobody's going to question it, because he's definitely boning down with the keeper of the temple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, of course this guy's going to go here. This is like the first place she took him. Like, I like that bit when she, in the flashback where she takes him into the temple and she's like, you got to bow down now. And then he looks and he sees the vibranium. The look on his face I thought was so great. It is much more Disney. It's much more, that definitely has that feel, which I really fucking enjoyed.
I enjoyed that, yeah. This was my favorite of the 4 episodes.
He gets in trouble, and he's getting yelled at by his boss, and is like, you know what, like, you really are a total fuck up, and you got the thing, but like, you took the fucking head of the statue. He couldn't get the tongue out of the statue, so he takes the whole head of the statue. He's like, you're not supposed to do that. Like, this is all bad. And it turns out that he had a stowaway on his plane, and that stowaway, it turns out, is the Iron Fist. Yes. I loved her version of the mask.
Oh, it's so cool looking. Like, such a great character design.
It's funny because they did it obviously to keep her identity secret, like that we don't know it's a woman. That's like the reveal, but it ends up being just a fucking awesome looking character. Like, it just rules.
Great design. Great design.
And so we get like a very hectic sequence of events where people keep running down hallways and stuff.
This is something I'm going to complain about a little bit, because you're right. This has a very hectic style to it. But watching this, I was like, I wish the action had more of like that Jackie Chan feel to it, where it's like real wild, and she's jumping through stuff and like getting hit and going back and coming forward, like all that kind of stuff. The Jackie Chan, like, Police Story, just great drunken master kind of stuff. And they kind of stick to like basic action beats. And I was like, oh, this episode's fun, but it'd be so much more fun if you went full wackiness with it.
I think the thing is, it wouldn't work for her character. It would not work. And I think also it's kind of not great to introduce this character who is in like the MCU, the first Asian Iron Fist that we've ever seen, and then have her be like silly herself. I think that Bosch is silly, and I think that's enough.
I guess Bosch could be doing the silly action stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that would be okay, because I think, it's not quite Rush Hour here, but like definitely it's the mismatched buddy comedy thing where he's the goofball and she's very serious, and so I think that to have her doing,
it is very similar to Rush Hour, because that movie also begins with Chris Tucker sleeping with Jackie Chan and then leaving.
But what's really great is that when she ends up making her way to the relic room where they keep all these relics, and very often they have relics from other cultures, especially if they've been like integrated with the vibranium or the technology or whatever. And she's like, oh, so your job is just to steal from other cultures? And he's like, no, that's all our stuff. And there's a very interesting thing happening here, which is like, well, who owns it? Like they've had it for, her argument is, we've had that for 1,000 years. Yeah. Like, this piece of metal that's meaningless to you is like the center of our worship. Like, it's a big fucking deal to us. And I kind of like that a lot, because I was like, how are we going to resolve this properly? Like, how are we going to find a way that makes both of these characters come out on top, kind of? Yeah. And I thought that was really, really, really interesting. And I really liked the fight they had in there. And I thought it was kind of pretty cool. But so what happens is that Basha does a bullshit at the end. The High Counselor shows up, and he's like, no, this is just a training exercise. We need to see if somebody got in here. So that was totally fake. That wasn't actually a real intruder. Like, still no foreigners have ever been in Wakanda. Don't worry about it. And she takes the tongue out and says, here's the fucking tongue. I just want the head of the statue.
Which that kind of drove me crazy.
Why?
Because his whole thing was like, I couldn't get it out. She just goes, boink.
Well, I actually love that. I thought that was a really, I thought it was really funny. And I think one of the things also to it is that the way that, I think what's really interesting about these episodes is that it's critical of the way Wakanda works.
Yeah.
A number of these episodes really raise the question of, is isolationism correct? And in this episode in particular, since he had like hooked up with her and they had gotten close, what if he just said like, hey, bro, like,
Hey, that's from my stuff. Yeah.
yeah, that's just like, can we do something about this? Or what if in the previous episode, Memnon had just told fucking Achilles what was happening, but he can't because he's so mission oriented and he's so dedicated to Wakanda that he has to kill his best friend in the end to fulfill the mission. And then that kind of like breaks his soul. So
it probably would have been easier for Memnon if he showed up and was like, "Hey, Troy, I'm here to help you out. Let me hang out with your king and stuff," and then he could get close and just steal it.
yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That is a good point. But if he had just in that final fight said to Achilles, like, hey, this is what I'm doing here. I'm not helping these guys. I'm here for my own shit. And it's this thing. And I come from a land where we're, just gave him the whole fucking spiel. But he can't.
Like, look, here's my decoder thing.
Exactly. I like that a lot when he does his little Morse code. I like that very much.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing is like a lot of these. So in the first episode, we have the bad guy, the lion, who is criticizing the isolationism and saying it doesn't make Wakandans free. It keeps them prisoners in their own land. In the second episode, we have Memnon having to kill his bro because he just can't tell him this little thing. And then here we have these two characters that if he had just talked to her about it, I bet she would have given it to him. I would not be surprised if she had figured out a way to make this work.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I also like in the bit they do that big fight on the trains, which we saw in the original Black Panther. But there's a really good bit where he says something about I seduced you, and she's like, I seduced you, and I thought that was really fun. Like I thought that was really this is the most sexual of all of the Marvel things in the last 10 years. I feel like they make out in shadow silhouette. Yeah. And then he wakes up fully clothed next to her. Yes. And then they say the word seduced to each other. So that's like spicy for the MCU.
That's wild.
That's wild stuff.
It's Cinemax.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing is that like once again, because the Wakandans are so isolated, they don't know how to fucking communicate with anybody, and they think that their deal is just show up and like just take it, like not like actually talk to somebody and say, hey, we want this back, yada yada yada, and that becomes the thing in the fourth episode. Called The Last Panther. And yeah, we're in 1896 Ethiopia. And this is when the Italians had expanded their empire to Ethiopia, which I don't really, it seems crazy to me. Like, Italians, what are you doing? Like, come on. Like, this shit's over.
Clearly, it did not work out well.
It didn't work out well. Everybody else was doing colonization, so Italy want to get in on it. It's like superhero movies. Like Marvel was doing well, so everybody had to have their own superhero universe. Yeah, and that's
their connected universe.
That's sort of what Italy was doing. But Italy was not like in a great position at this time. I think it had just been unified. So yeah. Anyway, so we have two people here. We have Prince Tafari, and then we have the war dog guy Kuda, who every time Tafari said his name, it sounded like Gouda, and I was like, the cheese? I was like, wow, the cheese. Tafari...
what if that was the story, was he invents Gouda cheese?
That would be amazing if that's the way that it turns out. He introduces the Italians to cheese, and they're like, wow, this is going to go with a lot of stuff.
They're like, fucking great in Ethiopia. We're going to go make some good food.
Well, actually, you know what? Ethiopian food's amazing. Have you ever had Ethiopian food?
Yes, it's very good. But now the Italians, if they figured out cheese, they could go.
Yeah. But if you're at home and you haven't had Ethiopian food and you could find it in your area, I can't recommend it enough. It's really fucking. And you eat it like with your hands and like a little piece of bread and stuff like that. Oh, It's so fucking tasty. It's like crazy the range of flavors that you can get in Ethiopian food. It's so fucking good. So anyway, Tafari's along for the ride because he's thinking about like becoming a war dog because he's royalty, but he's like not first in line to become the Black Panther. He knows he'll never be king. He knows he'll never be Black Panther. And so he's like just sort of like a nobody within the larger Wakandan thing. He's just like a guy at this point. I like that they use him to give us some exposition about what's happening within the colonization there, because he's like a little nerd about geopolitics, and he starts giving Gouda a fucking speech about the Italians and stuff like that. But they are in the city of Ottawa, and it is going pretty heavy, like a lot of fucking firing, a lot of shells and shit like that. So Gouda's like, okay, we're going to have to figure out how to get it. It's in that building. We have to figure out how to get into it. Don't make any moves yet. And then Safari just disappears and goes, Gouda sees him go into the building. And he's like, get out of the fucking building. And then he comes out and he has the axe that was hidden inside a grandfather clock. And so Kuda has to be like, you've disobeyed a direct order. He's like, but I got the fucking axe. So they get out of there. It's like they got to get out of there because the fucking war is going. Like the Ethiopians have now taken the artillery, and so they're getting out of town and they're driving.
Get to the future car.
And all of a sudden, the Predator just appears in front of them. And it's not the Predator, but it is a Black Panther. And it turns out, I'm just going to like tell everybody what the deal is. She's from 500 years in the future. Fucking love this. The one thing I wish is that in the comics, there's the Wakandan Galactic Empire, like the Wakandans colonized planets and shit like that. And I kind of would not have minded if, but I guess it wouldn't work in that for this story
because the world is destroyed, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't work in this story. So she's from the future. She does the thing that I guess all Wakandans do, which is not talk to anybody. And she just starts tearing their car up, and then she's like, I didn't want to fight. I'm like, then you should have fucking said something, frankly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not just start tearing their fucking car to pieces.
I mean, the second she speaks in the Wakandan language, they're like, oh, you're Wakandan. And they're cool. They're like,
they're
okay,
cool.
well,
They're totally chill.
Yeah.
I like her suit is really cool looking, and I like that she has like a panther growl that's like in her suit. I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. So she's from the future, and here's the deal is that in her future, Wakanda never opened its borders. And so one day, these aliens called the Horde came to town. Those are from the comics, the Horde, by the way. Those are
they're from the 2007 Eternal series.
Mm-hmm. They are space locusts, basically. They showed up, and Wakanda was like, well, that's not our fucking problem. It's everybody else's problem. And so, but once the Horde finished off the rest of humanity, they then turned their attention to Wakanda, and it turns out they were pretty fucking heavy duty. So by the end, there's like 10 Wakandans total left. Like, I guess that's like 10 humans, more or less, left alive on the planet. And it's pretty fucking dire. So they try to figure out what they're going to do, and she uses her quantum scanner to look through history and try to find a pivot moment that could have changed this. That maybe, like, if they change that pivot moment, this future doesn't come to pass.
You might say she's looking to set right what once went wrong.
I like this a lot because this is just a comic book story.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm back in your time because I have to let you know that if you kill so and so, the whole world will be destroyed. Like that's Cable. Like that's the whole deal. You know?
Yeah.
I fucking love that, man. Like, I love how comic booky this particular story is. So she says, listen, the deal is that the axe is the thing. That axe has to show up so that later there's going to be somebody who tries to take the Wakandan throne, and that entire scenario, it convinces Wakanda to open their borders.
Do you think in this sequence, they first show her in front of the screen so you can't see who she's talking about? And then at the end, we see that it's
Killmonger.
Michael B. Jordan. It's Killmonger. Do you think anyone watching this was like, oh, shit, it's him? Like, it's obvious from the scene. I don't know why they try and act like it's going to be a surprising thing at the end.
No, I mean, there's just not that many characters that it could be, right? So it's not really a surprise. It would have been funny if
they show it and it's what's his face, Watson, who hangs out in the Black Panther movie. It's just him. He's like, hey.
I think it's not like a mind-blowing reveal, but it's a fun reveal, and it's fun. I think there's like something really fun about the idea that all of that shit that happened in the first Black Panther had to happen so the Earth wouldn't be destroyed. I kind of love that kind of storytelling too, where it's like this event that was like super fucking like not necessarily minor, but you'd never imagine that it was like had such a knock-on effect that would stop the world from being destroyed.
Yeah,
I really like that a lot. But yeah, so she says that's why they have to put the axe back where it was found. And we have a she then gets pulled back in time because she has a limited amount of time that she's in the past, and jumping almost kills her only because the heart-shaped herb as they always say, was able to let her survive the jump. And so now we got Kuda and Tafari trying to. They argue about this because Tafari's like, well, listen, like, this is like a big deal. Like, this is the fate of humanity. Like, and basically Tafari convinces Gouda that that they're not just Wakandans, they're humans and they're Earth people.
Well, part of it too is Kuda doesn't believe her, but she mentions that
Yes.
the queen is pregnant, and the prince is like, she is. We haven't announced it to all of Wakanda yet, but she is pregnant. So if she knows that,
Yeah.
she must be from the future.
Yeah.
And then Kuda's like, all right, I guess we'll do this.
And so they decide that what they have to do is that their mission has to not be to recover the thing. Their mission has to be to put it back. So to me, this is a good example of how each of these episodes, while it is a MacGuffin thing every single time, you can change the MacGuffin if you wanted to. But like the way that it works is different every single time. It isn't just the one thing. Like it isn't just. When the first episode ended, I said, "Oh no, is this just going to be this again and again and again and again?" And it isn't. Like the whole Trojan War thing has got a very different feel than the pirate thing, the Sea People's thing. And then the Iron Fist thing, they bring somebody back to Wakanda, and then here they have to put the item back. I think that's they're all very different. These are different missions, even though the MacGuffin is the same MacGuffin, essentially. So they have to go sneak back into the city, which is now under significant bombardment from the Ethiopians, and they have to go put it back. While they're going, a building falls on Gouda, and he tells Tafari, "Leave me, just go do this. You got to save the fucking world." And he had earlier said to Tafari, like, "Listen, you don't know what being a war dog is like because I got a family. Like, my job is to get home to them." And here Tafari's like, "Well, I have to get you home to your family. You have a duty." And he's like, "No, my duty is to everybody. Like, that's the duty."
Kuda consistently changes his point of view on things.
Yeah.
Like earlier when they were there and he was like, all the fighting's going on in the city. And he's like, it's too dangerous. We shouldn't get it. And then at the end, when they leave, he's like, this is the first mission I've ever come back without getting the thing I needed. And it's like, 20 minutes ago, you were cool with that idea. Now you're like, oh, this is weird. Like,
he had a perspective shift.
Fuck it, save the universe. Like,
he had a perspective shift because the premise is that like one of the things that War Dogs does is to protect Wakanda today and protect Wakanda tomorrow by keeping this technology out of the outsiders' hands. And so this is very much protecting Wakanda tomorrow. They go back. So he's trapped, and then Tafari goes and sneaks in, gets it back into the grandfather clock, and then the whole building blows up. And it seems,
by the way, the grandfather clock, the secrets compartment to the grandfather clock must open twice a day because it's moving the hour hand to 9.
Yeah, I know it's not really a very good secret clock. Yeah,
that's really bad.
Yeah, it's not great. But the building blows up, and we're pretty convinced that they're both killed, but they're not. Actually, Tafari survived, and he goes back and he gets Gouda, and they go back to Wakanda. And the thing is, when they get to Wakanda, they have to pretend that they failed. They can't tell the story. Nobody's going to believe it. It's going to be too wild. Gouda has a good line here because Tafari has a good line here because Gouda's like, "I'm so sorry, kid. I know that you wanted to like make your mark on history, and it turns out that you did, but nobody will ever know." And Tafari's like, "No, the important thing is the mission, not the story that's told about the mission." Yeah, and I thought that was really fucking cool. I thought that was very fucking cool.
Also, that room they're in is gorgeous looking.
Yeah, it's really nice looking.
Really good looking room.
Yeah.
Again, the animation and the art in this show is top notch.
While they're trying to put the axe back, we have the Wakandans of the future trying to hold off the Horde from the time portal. One of the Doro Milaje says we should just turn it off, and I don't really understand why.
They don't.
Yeah, I kind of don't get it, because I wouldn't mind it if one of the characters hadn't said it. Like, I think I could have just like skipped it. Like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Maybe it's always open. Maybe that's the deal. But she's like, "Can we just turn this off? Like, we can unplug it." And the Queen's like, "No way, man. We're keeping that shit open." And I don't
look. If we're all gonna die, they're gonna die in the past too. Fuck them.
But I really like it because like everybody gets fucking taken out, and it's just the Black Panther and these aliens.
This did have my biggest laugh in all 4 of these episodes happened here. where it's the Black Panther, the last Black Panther, and one of the Dora Milaje, and the Dora Milaje turns around and goes, "My queen," and then just gets eaten and goes, "Wow!" I just started laughing. Hysterically.
They had a really nice Starship Troopers reference, I think, in here where the bug puts its claw through the last Black Panther's leg.
Yeah.
I think that might be an exact shot from Starship Troopers potentially.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It might be. I think it might be. I think that might be Dizzy gets it like that. I think. But she's like getting pushed back to the fucking portal. Like they're gonna shove her through the portal, and then at the last minute, their entire reality disappears.
Yeah.
And we have to assume that they ended up in a better place. Although we actually don't know. We don't actually see what happens.
Well, actually, according to Avengers Endgame, their reality just continued because you can't alter the past. Remember?
I know. Yeah, it was always the dumbest thing they could possibly do. Like, oh no, so none of this matters then. What are you trying to tell me? Okay, great.
That's like watching this episode. That was one thing that kept going through my head. It was like, well, we know this doesn't matter. This is just a offshoot reality, and this will probably get pruned by the TVA.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Yeah, but I think it's also very comic booky to have rules in one comic book that are not the rules in another comic book.
100%. I mean, there is no time travel continuity in comic books.
They actually
whatever fits the story.
DC did a whole event to deal with this shit.
Yes, multiple events.
So, like, because time travel is just so fucked up because everybody has a different way of doing it. Everybody has different definitions of how it works.
Yeah. I mean, DC, to their credit, is so anal retentive that they created an entire system for coloring mistakes to explain them in continuity. That's how Hypertime started. Hypertime started with somebody wrote a letter into Flash saying, "How come in this issue Wally's eyes are blue and not green?" And then Mark Waid was talking to Grant Morrison about it, and they came up with Hypertime to explain away those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's like, dude, they just colored it wrong, man.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
It's crazy.
And then that's the end of the episode. Did you also hate this one too?
I wasn't a big fan of it. No, the third one's my favorite one. The third one I liked the most, but I just didn't like the concept of the show.
See, I think that's a bad criticism, to be very honest, and I think that we have to critique what we're seeing as opposed to what we wish we would have seen.
Critiquing what we're seeing, I think for the most part the characters are flat. I think the storylines are essentially the same. They can change, bits, but we're just seeing the same element over and over again. I don't find it. I did not find it interesting to watch. Maybe if it was weekly, it would work better. But putting them all out at once and watching them all out at once, it was just like, I feel like I just kind of saw most of this already.
I split mine up to multiple days when I watched it.
Okay. I didn't.
I felt there was no reason to just sit down and do 2 hours at once. I said, you know what? I can watch a half hour every breakfast,
Yeah.
I thought this was great. I thought that it's the animation's amazing and gorgeous.
The animation is gorgeous.
I think that the storytelling, it really makes What If feel like an aberration for Marvel animation because X-Men 97 was terrific, and so was Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Terrific. Yeah. And I thought this was terrific, too. But you have to admit this is not as bad as What If. What If was disastrously bad.
What If is atrocious.
Yeah. So I absolutely fucking dug it. I thought it was really great. I loved all the history stuff. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody depict any part of the Italian colonization of Ethiopia in an American production. I don't know if I've ever seen that. It's very specific. I'm sure there's Italian or some European thing or some African thing that does it, but not in America. I thought it was really, really cool.
And I like set up. Todd's gonna put up on the Discord 30 pages of a Batman story where he went back in time and fought there or something.
But I also I just thought that each episode was really cool, and I like the fact that the show just is not Wakanda's cool, the outside world drools, and it's sort of questioning and examining the isolationism. I thought that was really, really great. I thought that was such a cool thing to do. And to contextualize it within each of different characters coming to realize, maybe this shit isn't the best. Maybe that's not the best way to do it. Like, I understand why we did it, but like, maybe this is not the answer.
I mean, I agree, but that's also what the whole first movie is, right? So it's like, all right, well, we already had this discussion. Use the show to have a different discussion.
Well,
You know,
we can't remember what happened in the first movie, so I think it's fair to repeat some of the themes. We don't
I
remember.
remember what happened in the first
Well,
movie.
we don't remember the animated sequence, whether or not it's the first Black Panther. So, like, there's like enough time has passed. Anyway, I fucking loved it. I'm sorry that you didn't like it. I hope the folks at home enjoyed it, since many of them will have watched it just for this program, just to hear us talk about it.
Yes.
So, boy, I didn't realize my hair is disastrous. My beard.
My hair.
My beard's a mess, man. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode of Marvel Vision. What are we doing next week, Derek?
Next week, we will be reading Green Lantern Volume 2, number 59, Earth's Other Green Lantern, the debut of Guy Gardner.
And so we'll be reading that. We love Guy Gardner from Superman. He's going to be in Peacemaker, which is going to be our next show that we're going to be doing here weekly. Is going to be Peacemaker. We have 2 weeks, 2 off weeks. So this current off week, it's Green Lantern 59. That's available on the DC Universe app. It's available for you to read. And it's probably hard to find, though, right? Is it hard to find?
Let's find out.
How many volumes? This is volume 2, but it's like, I guess if you type volume 2, it'll come up.
The DC Universe app, not perfect, but definitely it's better at this stuff than
The Marvel?
than the Marvel app.
So the premise for this story sounds pretty great. We read the premise and it sounds pretty good. It's got giant robots and children. So we'll be back here again with that next week. Derek is having a hard time finding. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. No, you go Green Lantern. It comes up pretty early. Green Lantern 1960 and 1986.
Okay, so it's the 1960 to 1986 volume is what you're looking for here.
And then 59. Let's actually just make sure it's in here.
I thought you read it. I thought you said it was available to read.
No, I said I haven't read it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just looking at it. I thought.
I was looking on the DC Wiki, but it's here. I can see right here.
That's a dangerous thing
Get
to
off
do.
this Earth, Hal Jordan. There's only room for one Green Lantern. Me!
So we'll be doing that amazing sounding story next week. Until then, thank you for listening. If you're listening or watching this, the free version, feel free to go over to the Patreon at www.patreon.com/cinemasangha, SANGHA. I just turned on free 7-day trial. So you can come, get 7 days for free. You're going to have to put your credit card information in there, just as a heads up. You're not just going to get 7 free days. You're going to have to, and then when you forget to cancel, they're going to charge your card. But go take a look, see what we got. I did it for the $5 level, which gives you Watchmen episodes, so you can go and see how those are. I feel comfortable with that because there's no way that you can, in a week, listen to all the Watchmen episodes because they're so goddamn long. You wouldn't have enough time in a week to listen to all of them. But see what you're missing and see what we're doing week in and week out. Until next time, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be well, but most of all, may you remain a true believer.